150 years of Children's National Hospital. 150 years of groundbreaking research, of exceptional healthcare for kids, of helping families like mine and yours. 150 years stronger with your help. Please give today. Visit childrensnational.org/150 years. That's childrensnational.org/150 years.
Welcome to Logically Irrational with my parents, Ty Strickland and Melissa Rycroft. He's a little logical.
Until I start gossiping.
And she's a little irrational.
You've got nothing.
But together, they make the perfect combo.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Logically Irrational.
Hello.
Hey Tybo.
What's happening?
Oh, another week.
Boy, I
Same
just got home and we are moving.
Well, we had to move around a lot on when we record this podcast. Try to do it mornings. That gets tough with you. It's hard for you to come home at lunch. Evenings are hard for me because I'm usually the shuttle. But we will make this happen.
Make it happen, Captain.
I have bad news for you.
Oh, boy.
For you. This is the first time this has happened because usually it's me. Usually I get complaints about what I have done, what I have said.
Oh, no, what did I do?
You were wrong last week.
Oh, about the shot thing?
It was pointed out. She was quick too. Like that episode dropped and 10 minutes later, she was in my DMs. And I got nervous because when you get a message on Instagram, you can only see like the first 3 lines, and all it saw was something like, I hate blank. And I was like, oh no, it's already starting. I don't remember what she said, but it was actually this whole long paragraph of she likes the podcast and this. It was really sweet. But she said, Ty was completely wrong about Johnson & Johnson. My husband works in pharmaceuticals and I know this. And, I wrote back and I was like, I knew it. Thank you. And she responded. She goes, I think it's funny that I wrote this entire paragraph to you. And that was the one thing that you responded on. And I was like, I'm sorry. I was a little excited. But she demanded an apology.
She did?
Yeah. Well, in a fun way. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She just said.
Yeah. No, I don't remember what I said. I think I said that doesn't sound right.
Because I was saying the other two are like 90% effective and that one was 65, 70. And you said, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, there is. There is a way.
It's also a really bad week to be Johnson & Johnson.
No kidding, right?
Yeah. I'm laughing. It's not funny, but we get our second dose next week. I would like to record this podcast before then, just in case I get knocked out like I did last time. Because I don't want to go MIA again and
the second one's supposed to be worse too.
Yeah, I was talking to some friends who said their first one was worse and they had symptoms like I did where they were just really exhausted and wiped out, but then come second shot, they were fine. So
hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, we'll see. I also did get a DM and this was one for me. And I think her real name might have been Real Thoughts 80. Do we remember Real Thoughts 80?
I do.
From a few weeks ago. She was pleasant. Yeah. Wonderful.
Had a lot of good things to say.
Delightful woman.
Very optimistic.
She sent me a message in my Instagram that she hated last week's podcast. And she told me to keep my, quote, liberal mask-wearing views off of the podcast or she would not listen again.
There's so many things wrong with that.
I went, well, first of all, I don't think I have liberal views on wearing the masks, do I? And second of all, it's my podcast, and I think that I can...
Tell her to stop listening.
I think I can talk about Here's the thing. I tried. I do this a lot of times when people are just ugly or snarky. I write out a really good response, and then I delete it. I'm not going to engage. But it feels really good to get it off my chest. And I'm not sure, honestly, if I sent it or not, because I wrote it out. And then something happened and my Instagram quit and I went, so I went back in and I couldn't find the message anymore. So I went, did I send it? Did I delete it? I have no idea. I don't know. But Real Thoughts 80, thanks for that. I just love the love and positivity that continues to come.
Let's stop talking about her.
Okay, done.
Yeah, like
I didn't use her name.
Maybe she responded because we talked about her.
She gave us another 1-star review. You know what we did not talk about last week, which I'm shocked. On Easter Sunday, right before the kids went out to go find their Easter eggs, what did we find right at the bottom of our front steps?
I don't want to talk about it. Maybe a listener can help us with this.
Well, they've been very helpful. First of all, I pronounced feral wrong. It's feral. Feral cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they told me to go to animal control and get them too. They said that's the best place to go.
To get,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, to get the cats?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
think that they won't give you cats, though, if you're going to keep them outside. I thought.
I don't
Or no, I'm thinking Humane Society. Is that the same thing?
Mm-mm.
Two different things?
No. So yeah, y'all, we found we know we've had copperheads like this. We have them
I think this was the
at
8th
the
one.
house, and
8.
they've never been that close though. They're always far, or they're by like the pool equipment or the air conditioning unit, or down by a part of the house that we're just not at. This was, if we had walked downstairs, our kids are always barefoot outside. They would have gotten in front of the snake.
Yeah, it's a problem.
And our niece was a rock star. She went
Yeah.
and found a shovel and she knocked his head off. I said, wow, you were much more handier than Ty.
I would have done it. I would have been here. This is a problem. This is one of the few things that would make me want to sell the house.
Well, not obviously. For those that don't know, a copperhead is one of the most venomous snakes.
I don't know the scale of venom, but
It's
they're
very
poisonous
venomous
and they are
snake.
not. They're bad.
And they blend in
They're bad news.
completely. I'm going to post a picture on my Instagram tomorrow and show everybody. I don't think I did. You can't see this thing. I circled it in the picture and I was still having to squint going, where is it? And
Yeah,
that's
and
the
it was a
scariest
baby
kind.
too.
And we know what happens if there's
That
babies.
means Obama's around.
I bet she's
somewhere.
under our house. I bet her and dad are down there procreating right now.
Gosh,
How does a snake procreate?
they lay eggs.
But how do they get the eggs?
How do they get them?
I don't know.
They hatch.
I understand that. How does this woman snake become pregnant? Like how everybody else becomes pregnant? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see? It's not a stupid question. Like,
Well, I mean,
the anatomy.
I've never seen two snakes humping, but but yeah, that's what happens
Hey Siri. Huh.
because they are. I think that's how it
Do it like
works.
they do on the Discovery
I don't.
Channel?
I'm acting like I know. I just assume because they. Have you ever seen like on Naked and Afraid? Sometimes they'll get a snake and the snake will have eggs.
I know
Yeah.
the snake carries
so I
the eggs and lays the eggs. I don't know.
I thought you were thinking maybe the eggs are fertilized once they're out of her, and then
No, I'm honestly asking. I have no idea. Like same with birds that lay eggs. Do birds do it?
This is a fascinating conversation we're having.
I think
here.
it probably is for a lot of people.
People are laughing at us right now.
I
We
think
sound-
there's something with animals that have eggs. I'm not
What?
sure that intercourse takes place. It has to
How
be.
how else would they be fertilized?
Well, like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, tell me your best guess there.
So the woman lays the egg, and then the guy comes and squirts his venom into each egg, and that's how it fertilizes it. No,
I don't know.
I'm just laughing.
You know what? It's most reptiles reproduce sexually and have internal fertilization. Males have one or two penises that pass sperm from their cloaca to the cloaca of a female. Fertilization occurs with the cloaca, and fertilized eggs leave the female's body through the opening in the cloaca. I hope I'm saying that right. It's evidently a very commonly
You
searched
didn't have
thing.
to type in
No.
much, did you?
No, just like the first couple of things.
Well, you know what? I think this was worth the price of admission for everybody that tuned in today. We learned about a cloaca.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Go.
While some snakes lay eggs in a nest, others keep them inside their bodies until they hatch. Either way, female snakes don't necessarily need a mate to produce eggs.
Aha! I'm not an idiot.
Surprisingly, a single snake who's never been bred with a male can give birth to viable young, which she can fertilize all by herself. Now, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
I knew there was something to that. I watched so much Discovery, you know? Ava and I sit like dorks and watch Planet Earth. I knew it.
So there's no. Yeah.
I wonder what the point of the male.
What's the point of the male?
Who knows? Men, you're so useless, you know? Not you.
Men snakes?
Yeah. Men copperheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And we, switching gears a little bit, we have a fun weekend coming up. We're so late on this. It's Ava's birthday party. Her birthday was way back in February.
I'm so jealous too because y'all are going to a escape room.
Right.
A kid's escape room.
We were trying to think of something fun and unique, but that people would be able to come to. Like, I still think there's a lot of party. She wanted to do it at Great Wolf Lodge. I was like, kiddo, nobody's going to be allowed to go. Nobody's mother is going to let you go right now to Great Wolf. And so I looked, and there is an escape room in our town, and they have these family-friendly ones. Hers is themed like Once Upon a Time. So they are trying the whole time to search for like Rapunzel's key and get out. It's just really fun. It's her and 6 of her girlfriends. And she's just been looking forward to it. Bless her heart. I have noticed though, so she's hit 10. She's starting, I think the hormones are kicking in for sure. With Ava. Like she's getting she's very testy and short. And I've caught her a few times today. I'm like, Ava, babe, relax. It's not a big deal. And then I step back and I'm like, is it like just happening now that we're getting grouchy? And I don't think that you have seen this. Sis has a bunk bed, and she's got a full bed, and then over, the head of the bed where she sleeps is a twin bed. Am I making sense of that at all? And so when she's in bed laying up, she can see the slats of the twin bed. And I was tucking her in the other night, and hanging up on the slats, she has pictures of Nick Jonas, The Rock, Uncle Jesse, which, man, I'm all it's like Uncle Jesse. That one has carried through generations. This
has happened fast too. Like it was like overnight.
She is completely boy crazy.
No, she's not completely
Yes, she is.
Crazy.
We were watching, you boys were out doing something, and she and I were watching My Best Friend's Wedding. Remember that movie, Julia Roberts, it's like Cameron Diaz's first movie. And Dermot Mulroney, I hope I said that right. Do you remember him? He was really cute.
Is he the guy in the movie?
Yes, he's one of the guys. And she looked at him and she goes, oh my gosh, Mom, who is that? And he fits into her description. Like she's got a typical type. She likes him tall, dark, and handsome. But
let's stop talking about this.
I can't because it's so funny to me. And I love that she talks about it with me. I'm like, yeah, sweet girl. So my last name is going to be Nick Jonas. And I'm like, you don't really understand how that works, but sure, sweetheart, your last name will be Nick Jonas. I love it because I remember every girl had posters up, and my room was covered with like Derek Jeter, JTT.
Not my sweet girl though.
Devin Sawa. No, just your hooker of a wife that had those pictures up.
Yeah, well, of course you would.
Shut up. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We have Tants and Rants. We have some big announcements from reality stars that were made this week. Super quick reality roundup. We just have a couple of recommendations. And then I have a fun game time for you.
Oh, sweet. I like that.
I got the idea last week. You know, when we were talking about the Real Housewives of Dallas headlines and stuff that were coming out. And so I was like, can you guess the fake news story?
Okay.
Shall we?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Challenge accepted?
Accepted.
Okay, buddy. Nice and simple this time.
In a world of Veltima fungicide, 5 feet reigns supreme.
Hey, remember? Less dramatic?
5 feet.
Just 5 feet.
5 feet.
Nope.
60 inches.
Look, man, just say Veltima fungicide lets you treat corn as early as 5 feet.
Nice. Veltima fungicide from BASF. Coming sooner to a field near you.
Always read and follow label directions.
Tants and Rants.
So can you tell us what is on your heart that you want to share?
Yeah. Obviously, like, this year's been a lot for a lot of people. And I've ran from myself for a long time. I've hated myself for a long time. And I'm gay. And I came to terms with that earlier this year and have been processing it. And the next step in all of this was sort of letting people know. Still nervous, but
I heard it on the radio.
Yeah. Man. So I had heard last night, they kept this under wraps. They either just filmed this or they really kept it quiet. But it came out last night that he was going to do a huge tell-all interview on GMA. And at first you just thought, okay, this is going to be over everything that happened a year ago with Cassie, and he's going to tell his side of the story. Well, then reports start coming out. This is actually going to be a coming out interview. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's big. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot to that. So I was really invested in watching it this morning, and we'll get to what I think about it. But it makes me sad. You know, he obviously was keeping this in for a very long time for a lot of reasons, you know? And then,
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What?
He was keeping it in for a long time.
Because he said he knew when he was 6 years old.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You didn't watch the interview.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't. So he went on The Bachelor.
So let's go ahead and get into that. So let's start with that side of it, and that there are people upset about this. You know, you have the people that are doing the "we knew all along," which to me is a load of crap. Like, it's not anybody's place to tell somebody, "I thought you were gay the whole time." Like, nothing really infuriates me like that. That's just such a dumb statement. But yeah, people think that if you knew back when you say you did, he said he felt something was off when he was like 6, and then in high school he realized what it was. Well, why did you then go on the show and make this public and then kind of continue the facade? And this was his response when Robin asked that.
So many people were cheering you on and wanting you to find love. And now they may feel that you misled the public and misled those women from that season.
Yep.
How do you address people who feel that way?
I thought a lot about this too, of do I regret being the Bachelor, and do I regret handling it the way that I did? I do. I wish that I would have been courageous enough to fix myself before I broke anybody else. I literally remember praying to God the morning I found out that I was a Bachelor and thanking him for making me straight. I remember that vividly, of saying, like, finally, you're letting me be straight. Finally, you're giving me a wife, a fiance, and then I'm gonna have the kids, and then I'm gonna have the house, and then I'm gonna have all this. I've known that I've been different since the age of 6, and I couldn't process it, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was until high school, my freshman year, when I knew I was gay.
So he didn't answer the question.
Well, so he explained when he became the Bachelor that he felt basically this was a sign from God that I'm not going to be gay, and I'm going to get my wife, and then I'm going to get my kids, and I can live the life that he thought everybody around him wanted him to live. Now, it does not explain why he signed up to be on Bachelorette 2 years prior to that, right? Obviously, he went through the whole process to be a contestant on The Bachelorette.
So he's claiming that whenever he got to be the Bachelor,
Yeah.
that was a sign that he was not gay? Like, that changed the way that he felt?
He took it as a sign that God was going to make him not gay.
Does that make sense to you?
I'm not in that position. I can't tell you what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that doesn't make sense to me. But
it may not rationally make sense to anybody, but I can see how
it sounds like
if you want something bad enough that you can will it, maybe think I can will it into fruition and I can change this, and if I have everything in front of me. So people...
I do buy that.
Well, I'm trying to throw things out from what he said. Listen, people that have listened to this podcast for a while know I wasn't really a huge Colton fan. I did not like him on the show. I do, though, when I was watching this interview, and you really should watch it, he looked first terrified. Like, I would imagine when you say the words like, I am gay out loud and it's about to go public, that's a very scary, like, there's no going back, and I'm nervous. And I got that sense from him that it was real. It does not explain, like I said, why he signed up to go. Whose Bachelorette season was he on? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then he went on Bachelor in Paradise, and then obviously went on to be the Bachelor. So people were saying he was just looking for fame this whole time? Is it true? Is it not? I have no idea. And then the other side, not the other side, but another reason people are really upset about this is because it seems like now we're just going to forget what happened a year ago, where he was charged with stalking and harassing and putting tracking devices and stalking her family.
I don't think that he's asking you to forget that.
No. The media now is like, people are going, why are we giving him an outlet when he's a harasser and he's a stalker? Like that. I'm just telling you what's out there. Like that's an argument.
I don't see how the two things are
They just don't
connected.
even want him to have a platform.
Just
don't
let him
give
go
him
away.
airtime. Don't pay him money. Don't.
Well, I mean, to be real honest with you, I don't know why he is getting airtime. I don't know why it's a big deal.
I think this is a huge.
You said it was a huge deal. Like, why?
Because we have known him in the Bachelor Nation world. Like, to your mom, they don't care. You know, it's just it's a man that has made an announcement. But to those of us that have known him for years, listening to his story, to me, it was just heartbreaking. Of he kind of got caught stuck in this cycle of like, well, now I'm in the facade. I don't think he realized when he signed up for the Bachelor stuff that these days on Bachelor Nation, when you become Final Four, maybe into a lead, people are going to be following your romantic relationships basically forever. You know what I mean? Like, they just become invested. And I would assume that got very overwhelming for him. And I think the breakup with Cassie was especially overwhelming. This is all speculation, obviously, but I would think in his mind, he has now lost control of the narrative. He had a safety net of like, I'm covered, I'm good. And with Cassie going, he was like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Basically having a breakdown, which is why he acted as dumb and irrationally as he did. And then took this COVID time to be like, I think I just need to end it. And I think I just need to say, otherwise I'm going to be living this life. They're always going to be wondering if I'm dating some girl. And that is not the case.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
I mean, I guess.
No?
I don't know. I don't know.
What?
I guess I'm just not, I don't care one way or the other. You know, like I don't understand why he would have ever gone on the show. Like if he knew, I mean, I guess maybe he was just lying to himself and telling himself that he wasn't
Absolutely
or whatever.
could have been. I mean, he not blames it, but he explains a lot of it away by his upbringing. You know, he was raised in a really strict Catholic household and he went to Catholic church. He played football, you know, and he goes, those guys, if I had come out and told them that back then in high school, it would have been the end, which I get. I'm like, and then it happened. And it was just sad when he was explaining at one point, he goes, you know, it was a laughing stock. Everybody called me the Virgin Bachelor, you know, which we made fun of that. And he goes, I had no reason that I was a virgin other than the fact that I was gay and I couldn't tell anybody. So to everybody watching, it didn't make any sense why I was still a virgin.
Well, see, if that's the case, I feel like there are reason for people to be upset because he was actively not attracted to girls, not going after girls, but he saw this.
He did say he loved Cassie. She specifically asked about that relationship. And my thing about, I do hope, I have no idea where they stand right now. It doesn't sound like the relationship ended real well and like there's any good feelings. I would hope he gave her a heads up that, first of all, this is the situation. Second of all, it's about to come out. Like, it's a big interview. Because
don't you think she probably knew?
I don't know. But I do know that as great of a day as this was for him to kind of get this out and off his chest, this has to be really weird for her and hard for her. And she's processing it as well. Like, I look at me going, if I were dating a man for 2.5 years, and then we break up and I find out after that he was gay, I personally would go, wait a minute. Like, was it real? Was it not? Was I a cover? Was I not? You know what I mean? There's a lot I feel like you would process of, you know, not diminishing who you are and what you believe in, but our relationship as it was.
I bet you she was like, you know what? I knew it all along.
Did you?
Absolutely.
Well, who else knew it all along? Do you know Billy Eichner?
No.
He is a comedian, and he actually appeared on one of Colton's group dates. They were doing some like relay race or something. You know how they bring on celebrities sometimes. And check out what he said.
Egg on a spoon. Is this not criteria that you normally look for?
No, the first thing I do, I'm gay. I know that's a shock, Colton. And that I think you should look into. Maybe you're the first gay bachelor and we don't even know.
No.
Put that in your promo. See you later.
I'm going to make you watch this clip because the look on Colton's face when Billy says, maybe you're gay, he looks like a deer in headlights going, no, no, I'm not. Anyway, that resurfaced. They were tweeting each other today. But you know what, personally, listen, I'm happy for him. I don't follow Colton. I'm not hugely invested in him, but it does sound like it's got to be really hard to be living a different life for 29 years, you know, and then doing it in the spotlight and it gets amplified. And then, I don't know. I mean, that's not an easy thing to say. It's 2021, but I would imagine that's still a very scary thing to come out and publicly say, knowing he was going to get scrutinized from a lot of people in Bachelor Nation. And, I'm happy if he can take a big sigh of relief and like move forward. You know, it's not all bad for him either, because apparently film crews have been following him the past few weeks. Underwood got himself a Netflix deal. They're doing a Netflix documentary on this, which also has people mad going, this is it's just fame after fame.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient. Like I don't know. I think that he is very opportunistic.
You do? You fall on that side? There are a lot of people that think think he just is doing this.
All I know is what we've just talked about.
Yeah.
And like if he knew, I mean, he's like flip-flopping. Like he knew he was gay, but then he knew he wasn't. And I mean, you know, like he's very opportunistic. Yeah. Why would he have gone on The Bachelor twice?
3 times.
Yeah. And The Bachelor in Paradise if he knew deep down.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to be famous. I mean, why else would you do that? Because it would almost be like a hassle. It would be like if you're not attracted to girls,
right?
You would not like that,
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like me going on Gay Bachelor.
Oh, I think they'd love you. I really do.
Gay guys tend to like me.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think they would love you. And if you brought Kobe, our little Pomeranian,
he could like, I could have a backpack with Kobe in it.
Candy, my love.
I feel sorry for anybody who is plagued by whatever. I want the best for everyone, but I don't think he's handled this right at all.
You think he should have just? Well, I mean,
I don't think he should have gone on the show. I mean, like.
Oh, you just mean he shouldn't have gone, period.
He shouldn't have had 25 girls falling in love with him if he knew that he was gay. Like, that's very disrespectful almost.
I agree. I get the question has not been answered of why did you fill out the application and go through the audition process to originally be one of the 25 guys fighting for a girl if you knew, and then go on Paradise, and then if you get the call to be Bachelor, maybe that's your time to be like, just turn it down. Don't even say why. Just, no, I'm not.
I mean, I guess maybe he thought.
I don't know.
He just hasn't met the right girl yet, and that's why he feels the way that he feels.
And I can see that.
I'm tired of talking about this.
Okay. I can totally see that, though. I can totally understand why, like I said, will it into fruition. And you can't will some things. All right. So on to our next reality star.
Come on to my house and my house. I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house and my house. I'm gonna give you figs and dates and the grapes and the cakes. Hey, come on to my house, come on.
Do you remember what reality show that was?
No, I don't know if I heard that before.
I don't know. Did you watch Girls Next Door? On E?
Oh, the Playboy Girls?
Yes. Did you watch that, by the way? Did guys watch that?
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever watched an episode of it, but...
I think of it going, I feel like guys would have loved that show.
Yeah, I probably watched... I don't know. I don't remember that song. sound song.
I watched it. I loved that show, which I look back now and I'm disgusted that I was so into an 80-year-old man hooking up with 20-year-olds that he made dress like bunnies. But so this past week, Holly Madison went on a podcast called Call Her Daddy and did an interview. And I listened to the whole thing. Now, I'm just going to warn you guys, if you don't already listen to Call Her Daddy, I would not recommend it. We are not the same audience, I think. It's a very different audience. But every once in a while, she'll do interviews with people like this. And I find these interviews so fascinating. And Holly really went in on what state she was in before she got in the house, what it was like living in the house, everything that Dirty Perv Hugh did to her. And here's just a little clip, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
How did you get to that point, ready to leave?
It was over the course of a few months because I had a lot of guilt. I felt like I'd made a commitment to be with him. I mean, it's laughable thinking back, but I felt like I had made a commitment to be with him, and we talked about, being together for the rest of his life. And so I felt a little bit guilty about leaving. That, and also the fact that over the years I'd been living there, I had been like making excuses in my mind for this whole relationship. And I always thought that the other women were the problem. And if they were gone and if I didn't have to deal with any of that bull, then I could be happy. But as everybody was leaving and I started to realize, okay, it's just me and Hef, he started lashing out at me more. And I'm not really sure why that was. I don't know if he was just like stressed because I didn't know at the time. But after I left, I know things weren't so great financially for him. So maybe he had some stress, or maybe he just didn't have the games of like pitting the three of us against each other anymore since Bridget and Kendra were moving out. But he started lashing out at me more for like really stupid things. And I just realized like, I can't be here. Like this guy isn't, like I can't stay here.
Right.
Okay. So first of all, I guess you didn't watch the show. Her voice is completely different. She's pulling a get her done. And she said that he was deaf in one ear. So she used to kind of shriek and she would make her voice high. And she goes, and then ultimately it just became a habit. And the voice that we all remember from the show is she sounded very ditzy and bimbo-y. And she's like, that's just kind of the persona I took on. But they made... Let's see, she was his girlfriend for 7 years, from 2001 to 2008 while the show filmed. She said they made $1,000 a week. He gave them each an allowance, $1,000 a week. And at the time that she entered the house, there were 7 bunnies living in the house. I mean, that's a pretty big expense bill on Hugh's part, isn't it?
For what? Like
it was to... What she said, with quote unquote, it was for them to go shopping and buy stuff for like when they went to pool parties and events and things like that. And if he found out that you weren't spending it on that, he'd cut your money. But they were given an allowance. And I was like, that's not a bad living, $1,000 a week. Now, when you think of what you're having to do for that $1,000.
Well, probably no expenses. Right.
Yeah. But I just would suggest reading it or reading her book. Down the Rabbit Hole, I think, because I think that's where a lot of this interview came from. But she said that like Hugh would give them Quaaludes.
Really?
Yes. And that he was like, she was always in a state of either being drunk or high. She's like, I really don't remember that. But the girls were basically being groomed. Holly said she was like 22 when she entered the house. And she's like, the thing that happened in that mansion, she goes, is it was an atmosphere that we couldn't duplicate anywhere else. So I would see girls leave the mansion and they would either become escorts or have to move back in with their parent. I mean, it was not something that you're like, this is my stepping stone somewhere else. She goes, so it's almost like it created a fear of like, I don't want to leave because I don't have anywhere else to go unless I...
Were those girls all in the magazine?
No, the ones that, the higher up, I think most of the ones that lived in the house and obviously the main girlfriends and Bridget and Kendra and her that were featured on the show were. But that was a big part of it, is that girls wanted to be in the magazines. They wanted more money. And they all slept with him. And he told them what to wear and how to groom themselves. And I was listening to this going, man, if Hugh had been alive during this #MeToo movement, he would have been annihilated. I mean, it's really disgusting. And it grosses me out to think I used to love watching this show. And I was young too. I mean, I'm Holly's age, right? So I wasn't watching it thinking, I'm younger than her. Am I? I have no idea. But I wasn't watching it going, this is wrong. I think these girls are being taken advantage of. And somebody should ask if they're okay.
Did you not? Did you think it was normal?
I thought it was entertaining. I mean, listen, I know I'm saying that now in a world that our eyes are a whole lot more open. But yeah, back 20 something years ago, I just was like, this is funny. I loved Kendra. I mean, she was a hot mess and I loved her.
Well, yeah, they didn't seem miserable. They seemed like they were enjoying
you know what? Holly
whatever.
told me they were not paid for the show. That there were clips that she goes, we were told everything would get blurred out. Like they filmed us doing shoots and stuff. And when it aired, it was not blurred out. She goes, I know that sounds stupid because if you're taking nude photos, why would you not be okay with video? She goes, but it is a very different thing. She goes, and we had girls that did not want to be on video, but we were not asked for our consent. It was basically.
Seems very illegal.
That's what she was saying. She's like, we were just like manipulated this whole time. And then she finally got out. It was just really interesting. You remember when we saw her in Vegas? When she had she was a Peep Show resident and we Planet Hollywood?
Yeah.
Pulled up to go to Koi, our favorite restaurant, and it was a pink Porsche.
Yeah, and all the Porsche was in rhinestones.
But we knew some that we were like, oh, who is that?
Yeah,
and out she came and I was like, oh my God, she's coming here for her show, which started in like an hour. I was like,
and
oh, that's
you
so
were
cool.
on Dancing with the Stars with her. Like you had conversations with her.
I was, yeah. So my first season, obviously her first season, we were the 2 last minute replacements together.
That's right.
So I remember they were keeping us a secret from the cast. They didn't want the cast to even know who we were. So she and I were shuttled upstairs to a hidden makeup room and hair room where we were getting done where nobody else was. And I watched her. I was like, she's the girl next door. I know who she is. Sorry, I whispered. And I'm just staring at her like this is crazy because that was a very foreign world. And I remember her makeup artist going, okay, Holly, do you have anything on your face? And she goes, no, just moisturizer and serum. And I went, what the heck is serum? I've never even heard of serum. I'm like, if I had a phone that had Google, I would have Googled it. But I don't know why I remember that moment because I was like, I think I need some serum. Now I have like 8,000 things of serum. But that was fun. That was it.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Quick recommendations and then game time. Okay.
Some cars are comfy on the inside, but don't have power on the outside. And some cars have the horsepower, but none of the comfort. I used to think there weren't any cars that were the total package. But that all changed when I got my Honda SUV. It's rugged and sophisticated. And right now, Honda has deals on the entire Honda SUV lineup. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Passport, you name it. So if you're looking for a car that's the total package, the only place you'll find it is at your local Honda dealer. Hurry before they're all gone.
Reality Roundup.
Okay, this first recommendation is for everybody that wants us to talk about Married at First Sight. I would love to talk about Married at First Sight. I cannot get Ty to watch it with me. I keep saying next season. Maybe next season. You watch the Australia one with me. I think you would really like it. But there's a podcast out with one of my favorite comedians. Her name is Sarah Colonna, and it's called Are You My Podcast? And right now, every other episode they do is 100% dedicated to Married at First Sight. It's very giggly. It's 2 girls just kind of talking, but it's fun because they have the exact same opinions that we all do. And so I'm going to direct all of our listeners over there just for Married at First Sight this season. Okay. Till we can get on the ball, and then we'll get them back because it's the one I listen to when I want a Married at First Sight recap.
Gotcha.
So Are You My Podcast? I also want to recommend the Demi Lovato.
Oh, I started that today.
Documentary, Dancing with the Devil. It's on YouTube.
Yep.
I started watching it without you because I wasn't sure you'd be into it. And then I told you have to watch it.
Yeah, I finished the first episode today.
And?
I'm just to the point where she ODs.
Yeah.
No, it's entertaining. It's sad.
It's very sad. So it's not a documentary about her life. It is literally about the days and weeks leading up to her overdose. And then they get into it from all aspects, her overdose, and then where she is now. And it is utterly fascinating to hear her and everybody that was involved talk about it. it's really sad.
You know, she talks about, I've only seen one episode. How many are there? Do you know?
4.
Okay. So she talks about how her life is not hers and she's a machine. And
she's like a Britney Spears. It's
like
the
a
exact
robot.
same situation. She's controlled from every point.
And when we met her, that's exactly what she seemed like.
We met that. So we went to one of her shows. It was at the House of Blues here in Dallas, and we got to do the VIP meet and greet where literally they shove a fan up at her. She stands there, takes a picture, and leaves. Like, you don't talk to her or anything. And I remember walking away going, that just felt really robotic. Like, she just stands there and she doesn't say anything, smile. Even when she was performing, she didn't seem overly happy or excited. It was just like, I'm here, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
I will say, she's one of the most beautiful people I've like in person. Meeting her, she was stunning, and she had such an amazing voice. I didn't know that before we went to the concert. I had no idea what her voice sounded like. It was great.
I'll have to keep watching.
Anyway, I just recommend that. It's really, really good. And then one that you and I need to watch, Who Killed Sarah on Netflix.
I've heard about this. Yeah.
Yes. Who was I was talking to somebody the other day? I have no idea. And they said, you need to watch it. It's kind of like a whodunit. Obviously, Sarah dies and somebody's been wrongfully convicted. And the whole series is about you figuring out who it was that killed her. And so I would like to watch that so we can talk about it next week.
Okay. We'll start that.
All right. This was quick and short. Let's get to game time.
Sweet.
And then people can get on with their day. All
That's
right? Okay.
It's game time.
Okay. So this is super simple and kind of stupid, but I was just thinking, I have a bunch of headlines in front of me, and these are headlines that were found in newspapers and stuff like that. And you tell me whether you think it is a true story or it's fake.
Okay.
All right.
True or fake?
First one is that NASA is installing internet on the moon.
On the moon or in there?
On the moon.
I'm going to say fake.
It's true. It's true. NASA is building a 4G network on the moon, which will enable them to control their lunar robots.
Okay, like for their stuff?
Yeah, but how you install Wi-Fi? Listen, if they can get Wi-Fi on the moon and ours goes out every time it storms, I'm going to be really upset.
It's true.
Like, come on now. So no, that's true. There will be internet on the moon for anybody that's
good to know.
Thinking of taking a trip
Good
out
to
there.
know.
What about this one? 8-year-old girl pulls medieval sword from lake.
I'll say that's true.
It is true. A Swedish 8-year-old girl pulled out what she thought was a stick from, Vitostern Lake. It's in Sweden. It's estimated to be at least 1,000 years old or even date back to the 5th or 6th century.
It's probably worth something.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
What was it? I don't know. I didn't know the lake. Oh, this one. A university banned the use of capital letters to avoid scaring students.
That's false.
It's false. Good job. You know what, though? It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully that's false.
Aspen man hires stuffed owl as his defense attorney.
That's false.
It's true. It's true.
Stupid. What?
Charles Abbott of Aspen, Colorado, was accused of violating a protection order involving his former roommate. And in court, Abbott placed a fuzzy stuffed owl at the defense table and told the judge that the owl, whom he named Solomon, would be his legal counsel until a public defender was assigned to the case.
Dude's going crazy.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Next one. Couple in California named their baby girl with an emoji. And the emoji is the heart, the emoji with the 2 hearts and smiles 3 times. So heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. And then her last name is Reiner.
That seems like something somebody would do. I'll say true.
Thankfully, it's false. But it's not far off. I do not think that we are far off from somebody having an emoji.
Well, what was Elon Musk? His kid's name was
a bunch of
something-
letters.
Something weird,
Yeah,
right?
periodic table, symbols and stuff. Yeah, no, I don't know. School bans parents from sports day for bad behavior.
Oh, true. Yeah.
True. They became banned after becoming too competitive and threatening the staff. Gorilla learns to knit clothing.
I'm going to say true.
False.
Oh.
I bet they could, though. All right. Boy, this went by fast. I should have gotten more of these. Spinach is taught how to send emails.
What?
Spinach is taught
false.
how to send emails. It's true. Here you go. Ready? Scientists have managed to engineer spinach plants which are capable of sending emails. Through nanotechnology, engineers at MIT in the US have transformed spinach into sensors capable of detecting explosive materials. These plants are then able to wirelessly relay this information back to the scientists.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm not done. When the spinach roots detect the presence of nitroaromatics in water, a compound often found in explosive like landmines, the carbon nanotubes within the plant plant leaves emit a signal. This signal is then read by an infrared camera, sending an email alert to the scientists.
What?
Oh, I should have done more. I didn't realize these would go so fast.
That's goofy.
I did see one that, what was it? It had a video with it of a plane literally doing a barrel roll. And it said plane does barrel roll during high winds. And I went, oh my gosh, I can't imagine being on that plane. And it made me think, you remember that plane ride that we were on that we went to go land and we were like a foot from landing, and then he went
straight back up. Yeah, that was a little scary.
I threw up. The lady behind me passed out. It was not a fun.
Wasn't our best flight.
Why do they do that?
He saw something he didn't like. Too windy, or I don't know, but it was bad.
He saw two copperheads with their Croatia out.
Maybe. And
Kaloika. Hey, you remembered it.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, right. I think that's it. You got anything else, Strickland?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
Hey, guys, have a fantastic week. Make sure that you leave a rating, leave a review, send me a message. You know, we read them and love for you to be a part of the podcast. And then we will see you. We will record early so that we're both here next week.
You got it.
But we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
All right, over and out.
I'm a cover girl. I'm a cover girl. I'm a cover girl too, because I use CoverGirl Simply Ageless Liquid Foundation.
America's #1 anti-aging foundation brand.
Simply Ageless is skincare and makeup in one.
It instantly reduces the look of wrinkles and even skin tone.
With hyaluronic complex and vitamin C for plump skin and a healthy youthful glow. So be a cover girl like me. And me.
And get better skin at any age.
Try Simply Ageless Liquid Foundation. From easy, breezy, beautiful, CoverGirl.
Been thinking about McDonald's all day. Can't get it off my mind. I can already taste it. Ooh, got my mind on my mouth and my mouth ready for some Mickey D's deal.
There's a deal for every moment at McDonald's.
Right now, get 2 of your favorites for just $3.50. Mix and match a classic McChicken, a hot and spicy McChicken, or a juicy McDouble. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with combo meal. Single item at regular price.